Let's look at LyondellBasell. There's some very interesting things happening at the moment. So first off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So we will go to one of the bonus themes called dividend stocks. So these are stocks that pay, a decent dividend. LyondellBasell Industries, they are in the chemicals business, 63-ish% here from the low, but we have seen a 15% pullback. So here is the company's website. So they have, a sustainability report. So here is so it's one of the largest plastics, chemicals, and refining companies in the world. Every day our employees work around the clock to reliably and safely deliver the chemicals, polymers, fuels, and technologies that advance solutions to our world's biggest challenges. Yes, interesting business. So let's look at the chart. I did find some time cycles that have been reasonably reliable. Rise, decline, rise, decline, rise, decline, rise, decline, rise, and so the time cycle suggests that we could approach here a new rising phase. When we look here at the seasonality over the last 5 years, August, September have been pretty good months. Over the last 10 years, we see here that August is the strongest month, and September is pretty good as well, especially when you look here at the average gain of 3.6%. Looking at all the history, then we do see that August is one of the strongest months, and September, October, and November are decent. So this is interesting. This is definitively supportive of a bullish thesis, and it corroborates what we see here with the time cycle. So that is definitively interesting. When we zoom in a bit, we see that we have recently had a bit of a pullback. We found support. Let's go here to the daily data points. In this instance, it becomes rather interesting because we do have this red 200-day moving average that we are hovering around. You see that previously it has been a pretty good support level. Also, it has been good as a resistance level for bears here as well. So basically, the 200-day moving average here as well, it is a moving average that matters. It is a bit unfortunate that we did slip momentarily below it, because it sort of loses some legitimacy for the bulls. But we have been able to quickly get above it again, and given that we recently reclaimed the purple 20-day moving average, I think the bulls have done enough to repair the damage. So yes, I do think that technically speaking, this is clearly in the bull camp. It could have been better, but it is good. This is a bullish setup. RSI is in the neutral zone. So yeah. The bulls have the technicals. Looking here at Finviz, we have some trend lines. This is potential resistance. If we look here at the price targets, we do see that we have $114, $117, $130, $120, $115. So the vast majority of the recent price targets are bullish vis-a-vis the current stock price. Argus just does think that we are fairly valued, though the vast majority of price targets here for 2021 are clearly bullish, in the sense that they suggest that there is a decent upside from the current stock price. So here is Saks. They have a number one strong buy. That is definitively bullish. A value score, bullish, C growth, okay. But A momentum. The industry rank is in the top 41%, chemical diversified. It's a big company, $33 billion in market cap, and a very juicy dividend. So this is 4.51% dividend. That is very good. And that is a nice hedge against any kind of downside. So when we take all the evidence together here, so the technicals, they do speak a bullish message. You could even argue that we do have a bit of a messy, but nonetheless, we have somewhat of an inverse-ish head and shoulders pattern. It is messy, but it's based around a very similar logic to what we see with more textbook inverse head and shoulders patterns. So here we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern that is a bit more closer to textbook, and we did have, a nice rally. This one is messier, but given the current technical setup with, support at, the 200-day moving average, I would give this one to the bulls. The seasonality is bullish. The time cycles are bullish. The fundamentals are clearly bullish, especially given that Finviz, the price targets, and Sachs, they really do agree. And on top of that, you have a very juicy dividend. It's pretty huge. So this is not it's not an attractive stock, for bears, it's not very appealing to short a stock that has, 4.51% dividend that you need to take into account. That is simply, it's not appealing. So yeah, definitely the bulls seems to be in charge here. Let's quickly here look at XLB, which is the materials ETF, which is, relevant. So this one, it has had a little bit here of a pullback. It still is a bit elevated. If we go here to the daily data points, you could argue that we have some support here at the blue 100-day moving average. Yeah, so this is definitively, very much relevant to LyondellBasell. The interesting thing, though, is that given that we have seen a more meaningful pullback here for this stock, there is an increased probability that you will see investors rotate out of, the overbought basic materials and chemicals, stocks, and into those who have seen, a pullback. And given, all the data we did go through here with LyondellBasell, yes, I think that the seasonality also is very suggestive of a history of money rotating into this stock. So yeah, very interesting.